Hey everyone. This is kind of the unveiling of the new player profiles on laxrecords.com. I don't know if I want to call it the 2.0 version or more like a 1.5, because as most of you know, we launched these profiles on laxrecords.com sometime over the Thanksgiving holiday in 2019. And I had some ideas for some improvements that I wanted to do, but with the high school lacrosse season, I did not have time to do them, or so I thought. But with everything going on in the world with coronavirus, I figured now's a good time to kind of launch this stuff and kind of make these improvements and kind of get things moving on a little bit. So I kind of want to walk everybody through what obviously you can see as an example profile, just to kind of give you an idea of what it is, what you can kind of do. There's a lot of just generic information in here, but I also tried to provide some descriptions of what we're kind of looking for out of a profile to make it as useful for you, but also to make this as useful as possible to college coaches. I reached out to several college lacrosse coaches from around the country from all different levels to kind of get their feedback on what they think of these profiles and if they think they'll be useful. And they've given me some fantastic feedback. So I want to go through this with you guys to kind of give you an idea of how you can utilize this to hopefully make your recruiting a little bit easier, kind of give you a one-stop shop to send something to college lacrosse coaches that they can just kind of see and get all your information right here and there, or at least something as you can kind of add to your general email that you're sending college lacrosse coaches. And obviously you should start this off. This is free for players. This costs nothing for you to create. It costs nothing for you to share. This is 100% free to players and parents. That just feels like the most important thing to get out there right up front. So obviously we're here, we have an example profile that will be your name. Obviously every profile by default gets this kind of image right here, but you will have the option, and we'll kind of get into the submit a player section in another video, so you can watch that as well, but you can add a photo to your profile upon creation. Then obviously you put your class year. You have an option. You don't have to put in your height and weight, but that is an option. If these are not input, then nothing will appear here. You have your high school, obviously your state, your position. You can put your club team, and then your college. And this is where some of the improvements started to happen. So obviously if you're committed to a D1 school, you would put that here. So obviously this one I tried to fill in everything, so it says it's uncommitted but also has college amount. So if it had Mount St. Mary's here, which is actually my alma mater, then you would also have your college image here as well. But if you're uncommitted, this section would just be blank. There'd be nothing in this section here. But then if you come up as uncommitted, when you're submitting your profile, you have the option to kind of let the world know what division of lacrosse you're seeking. So are you looking for Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, MCLA, NAIA, JUCO, like whatever level of lacrosse you're kind of looking for, you have the option of selecting that. As this profile shows, you can select all of them, you can select one, you can select any combination thereof that you wish. So, and then coaches will actually be able to search for this, which we will also get into another video. We'll kind of show the search process, but college coaches will be able to search for players, so by any of these categories. So if they're looking for obviously a 2020 player out of North Carolina, and maybe they need a midfielder who is looking for Division 2, once everybody starts to populate their profiles, like coaches can really narrow in to a player that they may need. Like maybe they have a specific gap that they need to fill. At some point we are going to be able to filter by height and weight. Like once we kind of get more people into the system with that information in there, coaches will also be able to sort by height and weight. So if they're looking for a 6'5" defenseman, they'll be able to look for that. So we're kind of getting into a lot of that stuff. So also you have your section for accolades. So this section is kind of meant for if you're All-State, U.S. Lacrosse All-American, maybe you made the All-Maverick Showtime All-Star team, or you made the Inside Lacrosse, All-Star team at one of their invitationals, anything like that. This section, it's capped at 10, so you can list up to 10 of these. So if you're first team All-State, and so all that stuff can go in here. Obviously, the college, that's pretty self-explanatory. Kind of getting down to the next section. We have the video highlights. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Everybody's got a video highlight nowadays, so we want to include that here. Now, right now, we only have the ability to embed YouTube and Vimeo videos. I know a lot of you have Huddle videos. I got to work with the developer to see if that's something that we can implement. But right now, the WordPress just makes it super easy to embed either WordPress or Vimeo. So those are on by default. So just don't have a way to add Huddle or some other features at this point. But hopefully in a next iteration, I'd be able to add that. The high school lacrosse career section. This section is kind of what I think is almost like when player college bio. So when you type in like Casey Powell Syracuse and it brings up his Syracuse bio. It kind of gives you a recap of his high school career or his college career year by year, but it usually has that section like before Syracuse or whatever. So this is almost kind of meant as that section. It's like to kind of recap that high school career. It was example profile. He was all world in 1995 as a senior after scoring 17 goals and 17 assists in 3 games or something like that. Something along that way. Kind of like recap your high school career. Maybe it includes like he had a career high 10 points in a game in 1995. Like this is kind of that section. And obviously this section, as it says right here, it's an intent to include any postseason accolades, big achievements. If you reach a new century club, become your program's all-time leading scorers. Like this is just kind of the examples of what we're kind of looking for here. But the next 2 sections are really what you guys had sent us and really got some feedback based on what you guys had been providing. So a lot of people were looking to add something about like kind of what they're looking for in a college, like their academic aspirations. So this section's intended to for the athlete to let coaches know what type of program they're seeking. Are you looking to major in engineering? Maybe you're looking for a liberal arts education. You want a small school, or do you want to go to a major conference football school? Like, do you want to go to a Clemson, and so you want to be MCLA, or maybe you want to go to like Johns Hopkins, where it's a smaller school in the city. Like this is your kind of chance to kind of outline like what you're looking for, and obviously the academic inspiration. So if you want to be an engineer, you're probably not going to University of North Carolina, like so it kind of gives you a chance to kind of help narrow it down. So this is all editable, so we'll get to how to edit a profile here soon as well. But you guys can add this, but then as your needs change and what you want to do change, then you can kind of update this as well. This what coaches say section, this is another section that was basically added based on what I've been receiving from you guys. A lot of people had been trying to provide a quote from a coach about, or maybe it's something that Ty Sanders at Inside Lacrosse had written about you. People wanted to kind of include that quote. So having a third party location where people can kind of provide like this is what someone else has been saying about me as a player. So this is kind of a place where you can add that. We can add a quote, so it's separate from this high school career section, but and it's easily identifiable as to what each one means. So and then and then that way when a college coach is looking at this, they know this is what someone else is saying about this player. So you almost kind of compare this to what they're hearing from people about the player too. So this is a chance for kind of you guys give your recommendation, almost like a LinkedIn profile way. This is if you think about that section. So kind of think about it that way. And then we kind of go down. Obviously, a big part is the ability to share the profile, so you can share it Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Reddit. You can email it to people, so it'll give you the link and everything right there as well. Then obviously the career stats, obviously it's lax records. I track records and do the high school lacrosse records from around the country. So this is your place to enter stats. This one is obviously completely filled in, so kind of give you guys an idea of what stats you can put in. So obviously you can have your year by year stats for all that. You can have each year, and then we can total up your career. Same thing for face-offs. So we do face-offs won, face-off taken, and then we calculate the percentage based on that. For defenders, I've always never really kept defensive stats, but we kind of want, that is something that we want to start doing at laxrecords.com. So this will give you a chance to put in your ground balls, your caused turnovers, and stuff like that. And obviously for goalies, your year, and then your saves. So this section is pretty self-explanatory. This has been here since launch. And then any news for the player, whoever you are, if anything that's written about you on laxrecords.com, it gets tagged with your name, and then all that news will appear down here. You can look up some players like Michael Sowers. He's the hot name in lacrosse right now. Everybody's trying to figure out what he's going to do. His profile on laxrecords.com, we have quite a bit of news about him from his high school lacrosse career. So that stuff will appear here as well. One thing I do want to try to find a place for is like any third-party news section. So if an Inside Lacrosse or U.S. Lacrosse writes about someone, we kind of want to be able to have a place to kind of include that so you can update the profile as well too. But as most things do, they cost money, and I had to wait things in and out on what to have the developer work on. And with everything that's going on, funds are tight, so I wanted to make the ones that I felt were most important and obviously most affordable. So this is kind of the way the profile is laid out, and kind of the, like I said, obviously example of what we'd want them to look like to try and make them useful. So, college coaches have said that, the search is pretty good for them, so they can kind of narrow it in. So the more you fill this out, the better it's going to be for you, and then the better for college coaches. And obviously, the more players we get to fill it out, it's that chicken or the egg thing. The more college coaches will search for this, the more players that have these sections filled out, because they can use this as a tool to kind of help them with the recruiting in some ways. So we'd really love to get you guys to fill these out as much as possible. Now, at this point in time, there's over 10,000 profiles already included in Lax Records. Basically, everybody who has ever been written about or have statistics about on laxrecords.com has a profile created. So there's a lot of historical players. So if you're a coach now, but you remember your high school playing days and you want to add some of this stuff, like, I welcome that. Like, I love to have all these profiles built out as much as possible. And the easy way to do that is below the career stats section on every single profile, you get this little line here. It's like, is this information in this profile correct? If not, click here to request a change. So you click here, and then this pops up. So it's submit edit to a player profile, and then you get to choose what sections get updated. So I know some guys, if you reclassify from a 2020 to a 2021, this is your chance to update that. You can, these are new. Obviously, you can add your height and weight and stuff like that. So it's height, feet. So it's like 5'10". You add your high school club team, because obviously if you're reclassifying, you would need to, update your high school, maybe change club teams. Maybe you've already committed to, your profile was created, and then you committed to college later. So if you click yes, you get the chance to add your college commit, the date you commit. If you click no, this is where you get to pick, what division of lacrosse you're seeking. 1, 2, obviously those ones we went over. And then you have your chance to, what are you looking for in a college. So you can add that stuff as well. You can add your YouTube highlight, you add your accolades. You can add information for the biography section. You add your stats. You get to pick what stats you're including and stuff like that. And then we will have a section on this form, obviously, for the what you're saying. Like, you can include in the biography section, as many of you have done. And then it's basically up to me. Like, I parse that information out. Usually everything's edited for style and stuff like that. So obviously you can add the photo and stuff as well. I think I skipped that over. But yeah, this is kind of the outline of the new profile. It is literally less than 24 hours old at this point. This is pretty exciting to me. I hope you guys love it. Like I said, I've already emailed it to a bunch of college coaches to get their feedback, and the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive at this point. There's a few items that I'm hoping to add at some point, but that's kind of more for the college coach angle to make it useful. But for now, I'd like to get you guys to, update your profiles or add your profile to the site, because then the more players that we have this information, the more useful it becomes to the college coaches. And, honestly, the goal here at laxrecords.com has always been to shine the light on players, not only the elite players around the country, because as we know, most of those guys like the Brennan O'Neills and those guys like Casey Powell did not have a whole lot of trouble getting recruited at that point in time. But, there's a lot of you out there that, you could use a little bit of a hand, and any advantage you can have in getting your name out there and getting your information out there, it's not a bad thing. So again, this is 100% free to you as players. So, if you guys come and fill this out, we can get these kind of updated. So obviously, I'll have the link in the bio to where you can start creating your player profile, or if you want to search to see if you're already included, because like I said, there's already more than 10,000 of you already included. So there's probably a chance that you may be in the database already and you just need to update your profile. So leave a comment in the comment section below if with whatever you guys think about the new profiles, or there's anything you think we could still add to it, and I can write that on the roadmap for version 2.0. So yeah, guys, this is the video for this week. Thank you so much.